I like the Lost 45s the best, but My Girl by the Temptations at number 19, up from number 25 the previous week on WLS's Silver Dollar Survey. It's a standard. Just about everybody remembers this record. My Girl by the Temptations, written by Smokey Robinson and Ronald White. Ronald White, one of the members of the Miracles. David Ruffin on lead vocals instead of Eddie Kendricks. Eddie Kendricks sang on some of Temptations' previous hit singles, and Paul Williams also sang lead on maybe a few of those. Although now Eddie Kendricks, he would appear as a lead singer on songs like Just My Imagination by the Temptations later on, but My Girl, all about showcasing the vocal talents of David Ruffin. And Smokey Robinson liked David Ruffin's voice. He fell in love with David Ruffin's voice. And here's what happened. Remember the Motown Reviews back in the 60s? When all, if not most, of the Motown groups, they would tour together and they would go to various places across the United States and maybe sometimes even go across and tour in Europe and England, particularly Britain. On one Motown Review, Smokey Robinson watched the Temptations perform. The Temptations, they were covering a medley of soul standards. One of them, Under the Boardwalk by the Drifters. David Ruffin had a solo spot on Under the Boardwalk. And when he sang, it was magic. Smokey Robinson thought, this is it. Right on it. David Ruffin is mellow and yet gruff at the same time. He could be sweet, laid back, and yet he could belt it out. And Smokey Robinson thought, my God, if I could just write a song that would fit David Ruffin's voice, I will have a hit record. Smokey Robinson thought that David Ruffin was the sleeping giant of the Temptations due to his vocal abilities. But when Smokey Robinson wrote My Girl, he wanted the Miracles to do it. His group was going to do it. And the story has it that the members of the Temptations came up to Smokey Robinson and said, no, look, this song that you wrote, My Girl, let us do it. Let David Ruffin do this one. You know you want David Ruffin to do one of your records. Well, this is it. Let David Ruffin hit up on this one. Well, after some persuading, Smokey Robinson gave it to the Temptations, gave My Girl to the Temptations, but he produced it. He was still the producer of the record. David Ruffin, the maestro on My Girl, hit the right spots. Hit number 1 on Billboard's Hot 100, one of the great all-time standards. And I remember this song vividly because it came out around the same time as Downtown by Petula Clark, which is also coming up later on WLS's Survey. And also You Lost That Love and Feeling by the Righteous Brothers. It was in that same era. Laugh Laugh by Beau Brummels in that same era, late 64, early 1965, going into the spring of 65. One other thing. The guitar riff. Now, I have to admit, I'm a little confused about the guitar riff. You remember the distinctive guitar riff. Dum, 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 dum. Now, according to Wikipedia, Robert White, a member of the Funk Brothers, a brilliant guitarist, he plays that guitar riff at the beginning of My Girl, and it's played underneath the vocals. And I thought it was James Jamerson who played that, the bass player of the bass player. Let me rephrase it. One of the Funk Brothers, James Jamerson of the Funk Brothers, brilliant bass player. I thought it was him who was playing that guitar riff. So I'm not sure, but I'll go with Wikipedia on this one, on this video. Robert White played the guitar riff on My Girl by the Temptations. David Ruffin making some magic, lead singer on My Girl by the Temptations at number 19.